No worries.
Rolling
We're
intro.
good. That's it. That's the question. You want to talk or you like Very good. All right,
Hi, welcome to Hope in the Light of Suicide. I'm Tammy White. I'm your host and founder and CEO of the Bobby White Foundation. Thanks for joining us. Really excited. We just wrapped up Art for Hope. We'll get to that in 1 second, but I want to thank our producer and the guy behind the scenes right now, John Gaston with Area 52 Media Group. We wouldn't be here without them. And our other sponsor, Lynn Gaston with the mortgage firm. Anything mortgages. She's the best. I don't know how many ways to tell you that, but she is. So, I guess it said, well, we just wrapped up Art for Hope, but we're still in September, so it is still National Suicide Prevention Month, which it's that for us every day, but at least it brings attention to the cause nationwide. So for the whole month of September, National Suicide Prevention Month. That's why we have our major event in September too. It's we have National Suicide Prevention Month, September, but then also whatever the week is that September 10th falls in is National Suicide Prevention Week. And the 10th is World Suicide Prevention Day. So, and we have some exciting things coming up for next year for that and for the month of September. So, and you got a whole year to make sure that you keep following to make sure what's going on. It's exciting. So, we're going to be going into October. So our support groups are happening, and our support group for October in Spring Hill is on October 8th at NAMI Hernando office. And the group for West Pasco is October 16th at the Oasis Coffee Spot. And remember, I mean, these groups are free to attend. You don't have to call ahead. If you want to, you can. I mean, I'm not going to say you can't. You can, especially if you're not sure. But it's a safe place to come and talk and or listen. You don't have to talk if you don't want to, but it's a place where everybody knows what you're going through. It's peer-to-peer group, so the facilitators are your peers too. Kathy Goodman is our main facilitator for the Hernando group. Right now, I'm the main facilitator for the West Pasco group, and so you have other people that know and understand. So it's a good group. They're good groups to attend, and it is suicide loss survivor specific. So, and we're able to do these things with the help of our fundraisers and support our other programs, including the shows, which we could use more sponsors for. If you want to be really brave and really show concern, and you have a corporation, be a part of this movement. Our suicide rates aren't going down, and everybody needs to pitch in. It takes community, the whole community. So, community, we had Art for Hope last week. It was a really great event. Some really awesome things happened. Our keynote speaker, Melvin from Stairway for Heroes. He was our keynote speaker. He did a phenomenal job talking about his experience, what he went through with the military and transitioning into civilian life and how difficult it was. And he really opened up and shared his story, and it was really nice. People, even if you weren't in the military and had to transition, you could relate. It's a relatable story. So we're really appreciative for him to come and be our keynote speaker this year. And of course, Kim Rymanowski, she was our MC, and she did also a phenomenal job. She just did really good. And Mitch, he was such a great support, her husband, with the technical part of things. And my producer, John, he taught us so well that when we were getting things ready, all the technical stuff and the video stuff that we were showing, and it went off without a glitch. He taught us well. So we were really pretty proud of that. We didn't have to call up and say, "Hey, John, how do we do this?" It worked out good. And we were really happy with the way the flow of things went. So I want to thank our sponsors, because it takes everybody to put something like this on. So of course, our main sponsors, Area 52 Media Group, Tammy White Galleries and Custom Framing, and our next level sponsors were I can't hardly pronounce. I have to remember how to pronounce this properly. Lucas Magazine and Dyer, the Rotary Club of the Nature Coast, Precision Survey and Mapping, JR World Travel, Tim Holiday State Farm. Oh yeah, I forgot. And Rick Redmond of Photography. He's done the photography for all 8 years. He was great. But unfortunately, Leanne got sick, and she wasn't able to be there with her cookies, and everybody was like so upset. But she didn't want to get anybody else sick, so we really appreciate that. But it was sad. But she was like, "Oh, please, put me down for next year." So of course she don't get sick, Leanne. So, and then our last level sponsors, JR World Travel, State Farm, Tim Holiday State Farm, Paul Atherton, and Elizabeth Seaver. Elizabeth is actually the cat's babysitter. So we want to thank them for their support, and we also had some anonymous supporters who preferred not to be named, which that's cool. We love your support. I know who they are. So it's very important, because it's we're dealing with a tough subject, probably one of the last toughest subjects that sorry, my cat is looking at the camera, so if the camera moves, Leroy, get down. Oh boy. Okay, so see, things happen. Anyways, yeah, the support is great, and we had some new people attend the event, which was really great. And aside from raising the money, it's hopefully whoever we can touch in a good way to help them. I'm going to share something that happened, and this is just the way things happen. Earlier in the day of the event, I was getting things all ready and getting ready to go down to the hotel to set up, but I had a client that was going to pick up a piece of artwork that I framed for him, and he had been patient because we had to reorder some things, and it all worked out. But it was a really great job, and I wanted him to have it, and so he stopped by to pick it up, and he was leaving, and I gave him a little flyer, and I said, "Hey, if you're not doing anything, tonight, this evening, we're having our fundraiser." And we had talked a little bit about it a few weeks prior, but so we kind of just were chatting just a little bit, and he asked me if it was, family friendly. And I said, well, yeah, it depends on, the children, the age, how much, what they know, whatever. And so he shared with me that he has a 17-year-old daughter, and she has been being cyberbullied. And because of that, she had beginning to have some suicide ideology. But at least, she was sharing it with her dad. And he shared that with me, and I told him, I said, I said, if you can, bring her down, you come down, and I think maybe it might be good. So anyway, so he didn't know if he was going to come down. So later in the afternoon, we were setting up, and I got a phone call from him, and he said that they were going to come, and I was just so grateful. And he was like, "Oh, what's the dress code?" And like casual. They were getting their house tinted, so they had like minimal access to clothes. And I said, "I don't care how you dress, just you guys just come on down." And they did. And so she got to hear, the stories, the information. We had we had our basket raffles, and we had amazing baskets. Kim also did a super good job putting together a lot of baskets. We got a lot of stuff in that people didn't have time to do the baskets. So Kim put these phenomenal baskets together. It was really cool. So anyways, towards the end of the night, this young girl, she won one of the baskets. And so everybody was clapping for her. She was just getting loved on. Nobody knew what was going on behind the scenes, or, with her or anything else. It was just everybody being happy for her and congratulating her. And it was just nice. So I haven't had a chance to talk to her dad yet. I wanted to give it a few days, a little bit of time, and just to feel out what her reaction was and how she has been since then. And I'm going to do that in the next couple days, because I'm hoping that it made a positive impact on her, and hopefully maybe she'd be interested in volunteering for our walk coming up. So it was just really it was a good night. And some things happened that normally hasn't happened, in the past. Towards the end of the program part of it, one of my friends, Deb, she's working now for Sky Zone in Tampa, which I guess is an indoor trampoline park. And we had been kind of talking about it, throwing it back and forth. They do fundraisers for nonprofits. So she texts me like just before the program. I can't remember either just before the program was going to start or in the middle of it, the flyer from Sky Zone. And I didn't even get a chance to say or do anything. So we're in the middle of the program, and she shows up, but she didn't think she was going to be able to. And so there was that and something else. So we had 2 breaking news things, and one of them was the Sky Zone. For some reason, I can't remember what the second one was. So at the end of the program, I go running back up to the stage, and I'm like, we got breaking news. And I didn't have a lot of the information about the Sky Zone thing because I wasn't that familiar with it, but I was able to announce it and then holler across the room, and Deb got to explain it a little bit more. So what is it? September 30th at Sky Zone in Tampa, which is on Adamo Drive, from 6 to 8. They're doing a fundraiser for the foundation, so 20% off of all the sales, whether it's entry fee, beverages. You have to buy special socks. 20% of all their sales for that 2-hour period is going to be donated to the Bobby White Foundation. And we're super appreciative of that. And going down into Tampa is really great because it helps, spread the information about the foundation and getting more people involved. And yeah, I think it's a really good thing. I did ask her if this is a kind of place that old people can play around. But she said yes, but I don't know if I should be jumping around on trampolines even if it's indoors. I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be a fun night, so I'm excited about it because it's something different, and we haven't done that before, and yeah, so it'll be really great. But anyways, and then back to Art for Hope. I do have to thank our other volunteers. Of course, I mentioned Kim and Mitch. And then there's also Margie Pagano. She has been in charge of the gift baskets, I think 2 from the beginning, for the evening. She sells the tickets, keeps everything organized, draws the numbers. Drawing the numbers was funny. Too, because one thing did go wrong technically, but that wasn't on our end. The battery on the mic died halfway through the drawings for the gift baskets. But she does a phenomenal job with that. I'm using that word a lot today. That's weird. But I guess because it was true. So she's after the fundraiser, she's off to Hawaii for a vacation with her husband, which is awesome. And then Denise Allen with Art You Adore. She was just that kind of girl that's like, what do you need done? And we'd have her go do it. And then she'd come back, what do you need done? And so whatever it was that needed done extra. And at one point she was like, okay, what do you need done? So I was like telling her, and then I was doing it. She's like, Tammy, I'm supposed to be doing this. You told me this. And I was like, oh, okay. So I had to put my hands up and go in another direction. But Denise was awesome. She helped out. And then we also, at the end of the evening, Mark Abbott helped us load everything up because we have to get everything out of the room. Loaded everything up in partially in Kim and Mitch's vehicle and the rest of it in mine. And it ended up being, it was a great evening. My nephew and my sister-in-law were there, which is great for the family support. And it was a good evening. So we're really, really excited about the event next year because, like I said, it falls on World Suicide Prevention Day. And if you go to the Art for Hope Facebook page, you can see we put up some pictures from Art for Hope, and it has pictures from previous Art for Hope. But yeah, there's the new flyer. Isn't that cool? I really like the way Alex did that. So we're really going to push for that. It'll be the 9th annual Art for Hope. But yeah, check out the Facebook page and you'll see the pictures and the flyer. I don't think I've done an event on there yet, but we'll get that on there and put it on your calendars if you're anywhere in the Tampa Bay area, September 10th, 2026. And I have a really super idea for our speaker for next year, but I haven't approached him about it yet. And if this happens, so I've got not quite a year to work it out, it's going to be mind-blowing. And I think he'll do it. I hope. He may have to do it remotely because he's not in the United States unless he decides to come. That would be really cool. But anyways, so I have this really awesome idea for who I'm going to ask to be the keynote speaker this year being, or next year being World Suicide Prevention Day. So there's just the wheels are spinning, and I think it's going to be, really super great. All of the volunteers are excited about it, and we haven't even had our wrap up meeting yet. So, yeah, our wrap up meeting is probably going to be our first meeting for next year. And usually we wait until after the first of the year. But anyway, so that's that. So, things just keep rolling. It's like, we just got done with Art for Hope. Okay. Then we got Spirit Night at Sky Zone. And in the midst of all this, we are working for and leading up to our first Pasco Walk for Hope. You can register, scan that QR code. It'll take you to the page on the foundation website. And right now we have registration open for walkers and for volunteers. And by the beginning of next week, we'll have up sponsors and vendors. That's what I'm working on now, is getting the sponsor and vendor applications going so we can have those up, because that's super, super important. We will have a basket raffle. The walk is going to start at the bandstand in Sims Park, and we'll walk over around Orange Lake. We're not doing a really long walk this year because it's our first one, but it's going to be neat because we'll walk around Orange Lake, which is really pretty, and end at Peace Hall, which is a historic building there at Sims Park, where we'll have the basket raffle. The how things are going to work out, we really don't know yet, but it'll be good. So registration for the walk starts at 8:30. We'll start opening ceremonies around 9:30, and the walk will probably begin 10:30. Like I said, it's not a long walk. It'll be nice. We do already have some individuals and teams signed up. We have some volunteers signing up. We're super, super excited about this for our community, because all of the proceeds for this walk will stay in Pasco County for programs and resources for people in our community. And that is so, so important. It will be the first time in 9 years that has happened. So be sure to go to the website, QR code right there. It's really easy. We'll have it. We're just going to be posting it everywhere on social media, and share it out to people, because, this is the first year in, I think, 9 years that American Foundation for Suicide Prevention hasn't done the walk. So I know there's people out there that are looking for that walk. So this walk is taking its place. It is replacing that walk. And the support that I've got from the city of Newport Richey is amazing. When I approached them about this and what was happening, they were completely on board and just are super, super supportive. So, yeah, it's going to be exciting. It's like, oh no, when I decided to do this, I was like, I've never done this before. How am I going to do this? But then I sat there and I thought, well, you know what? You never started a nonprofit foundation before. You never did a fundraiser like Art for Hope before, but yet you did it. And, look, next year's going to be our 9th year for Art for Hope. And so that means it'll be 9 years for, we just passed our 8 years for the Bobby White Foundation. And I really thought that didn't start it as soon as I did, but looking back, we started this well, we started it sooner, say a year, but a year and a half after losing Bobby to suicide. I really thought it was like maybe 2 or 3 years later, but it really wasn't. It was only a year and a half later when we had our first Art for Hope and became, a nonprofit. So, and a lot has happened in that time. And, my neighbor has to remind me of that all the time because sometimes I feel like we should be further out, have more accomplished, but really we've accomplished a lot. We have our Purple Folder program. We have our Hope support program to help survivors just with like incidentals or making them feel better, helping them go get a haircut, helping them get their house clean. It's kind of some of the things that the support that I got when we lost Bobby, our support groups, and we want to expand our support groups, especially in Pasco, to the east side of Pasco County, which will help facilitate the east side of Hernando County also, just because our counties are so ginormous. And of course, this show. John and I have been doing this on our own the whole entire time. And we would really, really love to have more sponsors on board. It's needed. And that's why we do it, even though we've done it on our own for, in December, it'll be 3 years or 4 years. Can't remember. This is 183rd episode. So anyways, so again, since it's National Suicide Prevention Month, I'm going to use the same quote or dedication as we used at our last show before we had the fundraiser. So this is dedicated to those we have lost to suicide, to those who struggle with thoughts of suicide, to those who have made a suicide attempt, to those caring for someone who struggles with thoughts of suicide, to those left behind after a death by suicide, to those in recovery, and to all those who work tirelessly to prevent suicide and suicide attempts in our nation every day. We believe that we can and we will make a difference. So with that, please make sure you have, it's easy to memorize, 988, the National Suicide Prevention Lifelines. If you need to put these numbers in your phone, have them available, because you don't know. You could be the one to give somebody hope and to save a life. It just takes one time. That's what we hope that we do here with Art for Hope. And now with the first Pasco Walk for Hope 2025, give somebody the hope. Learn. It's not hard. It really isn't. We just need to be strong and be brave enough to help someone. Be aware. Remember, there's always hope.